الطاهرين المعصومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Continuing our topic about the lessons of Karbala. On Imam Hussain alayhi salam's journey and his travels, which was a very long one, reached a point where someone prevented and blocked the way from them. This is one of the commanders of the army of Yazid, who was known as Hur. Hur prevented the way of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. As a result, he caused a lot of hardship for Imam Hussain. Eventually, one of the reasons why Imam Hussain and his men ended up in Karbala and were outnumbered and did not have water for many days and suffered this difficulty was because Hur had prevented them from being able to move in a certain direction. Hur says something very interesting in Karbala as the day of Ashura is approaching on that day, when there's so much tension and there's a big tragedy about to happen. It says that Hur is sitting in the tent, and Umar ibn Sa'd, the commander of the army, he looks at him and he said, "What's wrong with you? Why do you look sad? Why do you look concerned? What is this look on your face?" Hur tells him that I find myself between Jannah and Nar. I find myself right in the middle between heaven and going to hellfire. Means that if I make one choice, maybe I will go to heaven. But if I make the wrong choice, then I will be burning in the pits of hellfire. And he was worried. What choice do I make? All the time, Allah gives us choices. Before we do something, we ourselves have a choice. If somebody, they want to take something, it doesn't belong to me. So before I touch it, I can think like Hur did. Should I take this or should I not? Before I speak, should I say this or should I not? We have hadith that the person who speaks and thinks after, this person is a fool, he's an idiot, he's completely stupid. He talks and then afterwards he thinks, should I say that? Should I not have said that? But our hadith say the mu'min and the believer, he thinks first and then he opens his mouth. So we have choices before we do something. Hur said, I find myself in this big decision. Do I do something good? Do I go and become one of the friends and companions of Imam Hussain? Do I go on the other side? Do I fight against Imam Hussain? And some of the worst of the worst of the worst people will be those who fought against Imam Hussain. You know, they say that there's hellfire and also paradise, they have levels. Depending on what type of person you are, you may be at a higher level than the next person. For bad people, in hellfire there are levels. And some people will be in lower levels than other people. And they said there will be people who are lower than even shaitan. Lower level. How low? Why? People like the people who make very bad decisions. Decisions to be on the ones who fight against Imam Hussain. The ones who fight against the Prophet of Allah, albeit some of the lowest levels. When Hur comes to this point, he says, I have to make a decision. I don't want to be tomorrow one of those people with regret. One of the days, the names of Yawm al-Qiyamah and the Day of Judgment is also Yawm al-Nadama, Day of Regret. Why? Because on the Day of Judgment, people will say, I wish I didn't say that. I wish I did not do that. I wish I did not go there. I wish I would have listened more. I wish I would have prayed more. But it's too late. They have a regret and they're sad. But our Imams say, live in this life in a way that you don't have regret tomorrow. Live with dignity today. Live with izzah today so you don't have regret tomorrow. Every time we find ourselves between a choice, we have an opportunity to be either ashab of Imam Hussain or ashab of Yazid. Every time. Sometimes the Yazid is Yazid and the one who is sending companions to kill Imam Hussain. Sometimes there's another Yazid. Anyone who's doing the dhulm, any dhalim, that takes away the right, this is also doing the same as Yazid. Am I with them, or am I with the people who want to be with the companions of Imam Mahdi? Which side do I want to be? I have the choice. It's up to me to decide. Hur says, I choose Wallah to go to paradise. It says that he goes to the camp of Imam Hussain, and Imam Hussain teaches us a very big lesson. It says some places that he takes off his boots and he hangs them around his, ties them and hangs them around his neck to symbolize or to mean that I'm coming in peace. I'm not coming to fight. Or that he holds his sword downward, meaning that I'm coming in peace. And different things that have been mentioned in the history. But when he comes to Imam Hussain and he asks a question from Abu Abdullah, he says, is there forgiveness for someone like me? After all the things that I cause you, all the hardship that I cause you, is there any forgiveness for me? And you can imagine Abu Abdullah and Hussain with being the same type of person as his father, as his grandfather, and he would smile and say, of course. Of course there's forgiveness. Because we believe that the person who does not give forgiveness, he does not receive forgiveness. Man la yarham la yurham. You want to be the person who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, tomorrow, on the Day of Judgment, when we are worried about what's going to happen, we want Allah to say, I forgive you. So it means that we have to forgive others. It says that the Day of Judgment is a time that people who are so close to each other, close, like best friends, they're BFFFFFF. They're the best of friends. It says on the Day of Judgment, they'll be running away from each other. They'll be scared. They'll be worried about, what did I do? What did I say? How did I treat people? What does it say in Surah Al-Asr? يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ. Someone, his brother, is the closest person to him, but on the Day of Judgment, he's running away from him. وَأُمَّهِ وَأَبِيهِ. Even his parents, he's running away, and he's so confused and so concerned about what's going to happen to me. صَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. If he has a wife and children, or a husband and children, and they're running away from them, and he's so worried. لَكُلِّ إِمْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ شَأْنٌ يُغْنِيهِ. They're just concerned on this day. But what's going to happen? So many people who were against Imam Hussain, they're the people who have the most nadam and the most regret. So why did I fight against Imam Hussain? But someone like Hur, before it was too late, he said, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. It's not too late. Before I die, I'm going to make the right choice. All the time when we have choice, we can do the right thing. So now, he goes, he fights with Imam Hussain. He goes to battle, he fights like a lion. He becomes shaheed and a martyr. And he's a blessed soul. And Allah likes to see that. But just a little bit of time, maybe hours, minutes, he was on the other side. This means that our choices can change our whole life. We have to be careful about the choices that we make. And then the bigger lesson is how Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he forgave. When someone does something wrong to you, maybe they hit you, maybe they take something that belongs to you, maybe they yell at you, maybe they're mean to you. When someone does something to you, now it's your right, you don't have to forgive. But if you do, you become one of those high-level people, one of those awliya, one of those people that Allah loves. We have a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says, "Man afa inda al-qudra, afa Allahu anhu yawm al-usra." The person who forgives when he's strong and he's mighty and he's the person who has power over someone else. Like if somebody hits you, somebody takes something from you, they did something wrong to you. Now you have the power to forgive or not to forgive. It says if you forgive, then one day, when things are very hard for you, like on the day of judgment, when it will be very hard for most people, or be very, very, very extreme amount of hardship, who can say they're ma'soom? Who can say that they don't have any mistakes? Who can say that they don't need the forgiveness of Allah? It says on that day, maybe Allah will forgive you because of the way that you forgave someone else. Forgiveness is one of the traditions of our Prophet. Forgiveness and af is one of the traditions of our Ahlul Bayt. It's one of the things that brings people together and one of the things that creates brotherhood. It makes friendships. Because people make mistakes. And the only way to fix those is if someone seeks forgiveness and someone else forgives. And when someone is in the position to forgive others, then he should follow this tradition of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. We hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enlightens our hearts. We hope that He gives us the kindness in our hearts to be those who forgives others, and that inshallah on the day Yawm al-Wurud, may Allah be of those who forgives us as well, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.